Hey everyone, how's it going? Darn. So, hey, sorry about that. I was thinking about this hand on table 3. I think maybe the flop was a fold, but we're gonna give this guy the volatile. Read right away. And he's going to get so min, raise, flop. I'm sure he'll get some other colors soon. Sort of a strange flop to be raising. I guess if he barrels here, we can fold because we're up against, I mean, I guess the flop could sometimes be kind of a bluff or whatever, but once we get, I think the flop was a fold. I think this was a mistake and I'd be compounding to do anything but fold the turn. Man, this guy looks like a bit of a lunatic. So he what happened there? He called the turn. Did he donk bet? I didn't quite see what was happening. So yeah, that was a little bit of a call for information for what he's so I just want to note that he's merge betting rivers with third or fourth pair. All right, guys. So, anyway, welcome to the final installment here of this session. I think overall it's been pretty good. Whoa, what happened here? Apparently we just lost either a big hand or a bunch of little hands. Let me, what the heck's going on here? Guess we just lost a bunch of little hands. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. There's 10. There's a 5. Yeah, we just lost a bunch of little hands in a row. We were down $5, and I just looked back up, and now we're down $26. Man, variance is a pain in the ass. So hopefully we can pull it out here and make this a positive session by the end of it, but without forcing anything. I guess I'm just hoping to get lucky is basically what it boils down to. The tables have been soft the whole time. I think that we have I don't know. I feel like this whole session we haven't really had a whole bunch of great opportunities against fish. We've been running into the top of donk ranges and things like that. So what the heck? Make sure. What the heck is going on with this? There we go. Yeah, so it's just been a bit of a high variance session, and we'll see. What's nice is I've started getting to the point where I'm always looking forward to the next session. I'm always looking forward to tonight when I play. What the So, yeah, I'm also going to restart my computer because, again, I feel like around the 3-hour mark, stuff starts kind of falling apart as far as the software goes. I mean, like, I've got these 2 almost full-stacked fish on my right, and I'm just having a real hard time making hands against them, which is, you know, kind of a big part. It's kind of a big requirement of beating fish is to actually make hands against them. And I can't, like, this guy's done this like 3 or 4 hands in a row because I've just come up with air. Like, I'm probably, you know, probably getting in, you know, with better hands pre-flop. And actually, I think the last one he showed he had quads, but wait, what the hell happened here? Why is this? Oh, it's over his time bank, which I don't think is where I want it, but that's okay. So this guy looks fairly volatile. So we've got the bottom end of a straight, also known as the dumb end. This guy we've seen 3 bets with like queen 9 suited. If no, maybe this is a new guy. That was a while ago. My bad. I think we fold to a river bet. So yeah, that's like a big challenge with being just patient and playing well. I think just it really takes some patience occasionally to get the like crazy big win rate, because there's just going to be a lot of sessions like this one where I'm on tables with tons of fish, but I've been on this guy. I've 165 hands I've played with player 5. He's playing 48-10. There's just no real likelihood that I shouldn't, you know, do well against a guy like that. Seems like I should be raising more. The third flush card should be a bluff, a barrel card. And now we just have to check down. Again, I mean, we're getting to the flop with better hands. We're just not I guess when the session goes like this, we really have to focus on making sure that we lose the minimum possible when things aren't going our way, or, you know, in the hands that it doesn't go our way, when we can't get spots that, you know, the reciprocity of the win in a session like this has been, in my opinion, us folding and us not going like off the rails with aggression, where we shouldn't be going off the rails with aggression. So I think so this guy has donk. Well, that could have just, oh wow, he like donk bets 100% of flops, so this guy's like a total fish. I don't know, we didn't see him. This guy can have a bunch of draws, this guy can have anything. If this guy calls, I guess we can fold, but I think he's going to fold because I feel like he has more draws in his range, but that could be assumptive, so I guess we'll see. But if he folds, we're calling. If he calls, we can probably fold. It's close. Okay, cool. That makes it easy. So I guess this guy actually had the set. I'm pretty skeptical here. This could be a bluff. This could be a very like aggro bluff. I'm very curious about what's about to happen. Again, I'm probably being really assumptive, but my feeling is that this guy has dog shit and that this guy could have a busted flush draw that he's bluffing with. Here we're in position. I know Nick doesn't like me calling with hands like this. This guy's pretty aggro. I guess we'll pick a better hand to call his 3-bet with. Hopefully somebody reminds me to look that hand up later, that ace-2. Maybe I can just tag it. Tag selected hand for review. I don't know. I don't know. If that reads right, maybe that's just lucky. If not, maybe I'm just a genius. I don't know. Because that raise is polarized to either a full house with like pocket sixes or like king 7 or like maybe like that's what it could be. I think it should have raised though, right? Like it should, like with the flush draw present, trip should raise. So the only thing he could have there that doesn't want to raise is 7-6 or pocket sixes or pocket 7s. Maybe that's enough in a multi-way pot to fold. But I would say it's either those or a busted flush. Like I think those are the options, which kind of, you know, puts more busted flushes in this range because he has to also not raise with any of his full houses prior to the river. Anyway, I'm probably being ridiculous. Like I'm probably being really ridiculous about that. It is telling that the first guy folded. That's not, it's not surprising to me, but it should be noteworthy that clearly this guy's donk betting with some weak hands if he's going, you know, donk, flop, bet, turn, fold to river raise. Although he did bet the river as well. So I actually think we can upgrade this guy. I mean, he's donking a lot, and yeah, I think we can upgrade him to purple. Man, there are just... I'm like tired and hungry, so I need to stop playing because I'm definitely not going to be able to keep playing my A game for much longer. If I'm even playing it now, I'm probably not. Obviously this is a raise, this is obviously a fold, but I mean... I guess today's maybe a holiday or something, so that could be why the tables are extra good, but they just have seemed very good a lot lately. And I mean, they'll be good tonight. And that's the thing, is like I've started being like, whatever, like I'm gonna get in a game with a bunch of fish later, and I'll you know, be mentally ready for it and ready to go. And you know, I played well this session, and I'm gonna play well in the next session. So it's, I don't know. I just feel like right now everything's kind of, I'm excited about poker right now. I'm very excited about how I'm feeling when I play, my mental state while playing, and hopefully it continues with results. So again, we in the last video, this most recent, I guess the last two, we went from being up about a buy-in in adjusted EV to being exactly break even, which is a little unfortunate for an over 3 hour session. Played our first hand at 12:09. So played at 12:09 and it's 3:17. So we're over 3 hours now. 4, 5, 6. So that's a bummer, but it is, that's how it goes. So that's not something we should get upset about. We're raising under the gun. We shouldn't defend with ace-7. We just and like the adjusted EV is part of the story. I mean, would almost rather or think it's probably worthwhile. Maybe not worthwhile, but would be nice or interesting to look at a program that runs hand histories. And if you guys know of one, let me know. But I would like to look at like Skalansky bucks, right? Which pretty much tells you like how much money you put in with what percent of like favor. Like, so if if I bet here and got called by like a draw, then like I would get the money that I bet while I was ahead, and then I don't know if it would be by a percentage or whatever, but I'd have to look it up again or whatever. But I think we should call here. But I do feel like a fairly large number of hands recently, not like overall, I'm not saying there's some like I'm like running horribly or anything like that, but I do feel like, I mean, on that like Jack 5 hand where I call 2 streets ahead, I mean, the guy has 5 outs, 5 outs twice and ends up hitting it. Like, that's not ridiculous, but when that happens a few times a session and a decent sized bet goes in on the river after you got to the river ahead or got to the turn ahead, isn't reflected in any way in your EV. So like that misfortune, right? It's not at all reflected in your equity adjusted numbers. Now, is that a big deal? Like, no, not really. I mean, equity adjusted is just kind of one more thing to look at. But if you're deciding like, all right, am I crushing this limit? Should I move up? How well am I playing? Is there an area that I could use improvement in? Being able to look accurately at what's happening with your winning, your wins and losses and all of that is not insignificant. See, this is frustrating because like a lot of players are donking with top pair, which is fine, but if he's donking with like less than top pair, then this becomes a call. I mean, this is still a call, I think, but it's just going to be a lot of top pair, which is frustrating. And of course he turns the 2 pair. Same thing here. Like, it's I don't know. I've looked at the donking stuff, and up until the last time I looked at it, again, like, this is a pretty big loss, but against some players, I mean, that's going to be the right play to call 3 streets of donks with top or second pair. No, I'm just kidding. See here, same thing. So on this table we saw how it goes right, and on the top table we saw how it goes wrong. against the same sort of player profile. And again, we would adjust for the future, so that we are making sure that we only call top pair plus against this player, and are more liberal with our calls against this other player. And this guy, who's like just 3-betting like crazy so far over the 43 hands we've seen, I don't think we can fold second pair to him, although this is pretty ugly. We have a pair plus a gut shot, but I mean, he's playing fairly aggressively. This is a really polarizing bet, but I think we still need to call. And I think we can fold to this river. Damn, we really blew it here in the end. It's totally polarized. I don't have any idea if he's bluffing enough, though, so it would be assumptive to say that this guy's just barreling off here with air in a 3-bet pot. So we fold. Not saying it's not possible, but it would be assumptive. Yuck. Now we're having a bad session. Now I'm sad. This looks like it'll go well. So that's good. All right, well, I'm definitely getting worn down, so I'm going to play for another few minutes and then sit out the big blinds. Again, I don't think we're making any huge mistakes. Maybe that was a little bit lazy to call that turn. Because, again, we have to get a little bit assumptive to think that he's betting worse on the turn. Like, the turn, that's a big $6 bet. That's 24 big blinds. So if we're wrong about that, if that turn should always be a fold, right? And we just know that, like, maybe we don't always lose, but that's a 24 big blind mistake if that's a call. Maybe it was 25. I think it was over $6. But keep in mind, if that is a 24 big blind mistake, because if we're calling there and then folding to the river and that opponent is going to jam a bunch of rivers, then, I mean, that's 200 hands of win rate for a 10 BB winner, or more than that, so... so I'm not saying it necessarily is a huge mistake against that particular player, but maybe against that player it needs to be call. And if it is call, then like that seems highly, highly assumptive to think that we can be confident enough to call a 3-bet triple barrel with second pair. Like, we really have to have that guy labeled as like a complete maniac, and a 24-22 over 46 hands, I don't think we can justify saying that. So let me sit out next big blind on all these tables. So I think it becomes a turn fold on that hand. And I think that's sort of a recurring error that I make sometimes with like top and second pair and 3-bet pots, is I peel a little bit liberally on the turn with intentions of folding, and I think that that's just against a lot of the types of players that are the would-be players, right? The would-be bluffing players are almost always following through too much on the river. So against the type of person that I am ahead of, too frequently, they are also the type of person that's going to get me to fold the river. And that's the real problem with calling the turn. So anyway, I think I've got that clarified pretty clearly. Again, shit like that is kind of irritating. Barreling is wrong, and I'm just, but giving free cards isn't all that fun either. So stuff like that is annoying. This is like this real fishy player that's gonna barrel off, and I need to see the river. Like, I need to get to the river here, so I can't like call for. I mean, yeah, maybe I call for the jack and then I call off with second pair. Like, I don't know if that's good or not. Against this guy, it is, right? I don't think that this should be raised flop c-bet with overpair or less. I gotta figure out how to edit those notes. I would like to know when they do it with less than top pair. Knowing when they do it with less than an overpair is not all that relevant to me. Knowing when they do it with less than top pair is very relevant. So I need to work on, let me get a fresh piece of paper to write some stuff down. Because I've got, I have 3 hours of like study time or other stuff that I can do every day. So, the priority is studying, learning how to play hands better and analyze data points. But secondary is like things like working on my HUD or something else that should immediately affect my win rate for in a positive way. So all right. So either editing or changing my HUD. I'm working on the notes, the auto notes. I mean, there's some, like, I know that there's software out there and there's stuff that you can buy. I don't have any money right now, which makes it a little tricky, but yeah, being able to pretty much have like automated notes and player reads based on, what happens. Again, like, not because that's just one of my weaknesses. Like, one of my legit weaknesses is missing hands on tables that I'm not, even if I'm not involved in a hand, it's very easy for me to miss action, which I don't know if that's a huge problem, because honestly, like, you could say, well, you should just be 100% engaged all the time, but that's using, mental energy. Using all this mental energy to make all these notes and type everything in means that I can't be relaxing in between hands as much, which means that I'm using up pretty much more of, more brain power, which is like a finite resource, than I need to. And so if I want to be able to play longer sessions at a higher level, essentially stripping away as much as possible is a good thing. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. Final answers were down almost 3/4 of a buy-in over 783 hands. So that part, sort of sad, but we're going to have another session tonight, and I'm going to play a whole bunch of sessions between now and next time you guys see a video. I'll also do a video probably at the end of the month. I'll do monthly videos for results, win rate, stuff like that, so that you guys can keep track of how that's all going. I will say that right now on Ignition, I'm still down from my original massive 22 or 24 buy-in drop, whatever it was. I had a huge drop when I first started the program, but since then I have been recovering, and I would say my last 10,000 hands, I'll bring it up just to give you guys a general idea. Let me clear out these filters. So this month, it looks like, now let me go to results. So this month I'm winning 2.65 BBs adjusted and 1.51 unadjusted. But if I go to something like last 10,000 hands, that's not all that impressive. It's like 0. Last 30,000, that's going to be the whole month. So that's back to the 2.65. So anyway, you know what that's not filtered for though is I have some games on Winning Poker Network. So if I just look at Ignition, it's a little bit better. If I look at Ignition Plus Poker Network, it's not as good. So if I just look at PokerStars this month, then we're at 4.26, and yeah, if I looked at like the last, I don't know, 15 or 20,000, it would be much better. Anyway, sorry, that's not all that exciting, but the results have been going really well for the last at least 10 or 15,000 hands. And once I sort of integrate all this stuff that was in my last session, most of that will happen tomorrow. I've got a nice big block of 3 hours that I'm going to go through the rest of all my hands that I played up to my last lesson, put those together into a video for my coach to go through, and yeah, make sure that I've pretty much integrated everything that he's talked about from the last session. Then I just need to grind a whole bunch of hands at a nice win rate, and I'll be ready to move up hopefully by the beginning of next month. I've got 10 days left in February, so I would guess that by March 1st I'll be playing 50 no limit, as long as my EV and whatnot is reasonable. So looking forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this session. Hit the thumbs up button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.